you don't necessarily have enough damage to do this.
You don't have enough damage, but I mean, it's going to offer over, obviously, that taunt that we have from the Liu Bang as well, right? Really just trying to lock down the Luna just for a little while, just so the rest of Gen.G can come in on top. But for those that did miss the draft come through as one pick by pick, here is the full picture. I mean, there's a lot of control here over to the side of Team Vitality, right?
Exactly, and when we talk about it, you have so much control, and what is a better way to defend from that is gonna be the Liu Bang with the Battlefield Commandment, landing in when the time matters here. So 2 team comps here. I do think that it's a 50-50 as Vitality. They want to play the dive, and Gen.G here, they want to play the scrappy team fights with the backline access. So these 2 team comps, it's down to execution.
Down to execution and down to the wire is game number 1 in the last chance. This best of 5 between Gen.G and Team Vitality.
And so far, we see a cheeky start coming in from Liu Bang here, wanting to secure the Clash Lane priority for the side of Gen.G here. But definitely, these 2 teams will have to see which of these junglers get the better early to mid game.
Better early to mid game, exactly. I mean, it's a base. We always say, right, the junglers set the pace of their team, and it's all going to be down to Rock. Q looking to set the pace here right now. But like you said, obviously, Wawa, Kalu just having a bit of a fun slapdash up into the top side of the map, trying to secure the side lane.
And that's the thing, right? But yet again, if you're an IKL fan, you gotta be cheering for Vitality, right? Because this is your last representative that has potential to go through the further stages of the game. So, Mengyala Abangku coming in from Astro Boy. Let's go.
Let's go. Shine, bro, is exactly what they're going to be giving over here to Team Vitality. That 3rd seed, I mean, to have your 1st, 2nd seed being taken off of the table already, and your 3rd seed is your last chance, is definitely where you want to triumph. And that is your CD key here. Put it into the game, and you will get some freebies.
Head over to the settings, click that community button. There will be a CD key for you to enter this code, and you will be getting 666 Arcana fragments and 50 Dragon fragments.
Dragon fragments, I mean, that is a way to get some free skins, some free heroes, right? But I mean, you can see here, Inua is just stalking the bush right now. Maybe trying to get that knock up onto Tufts, able to get it, but he's able to dash out. Not using his flash, common skill is still available.
I love Tufts doing this, you know. He's so disciplined. He knows that, okay, Inua on this season is not on the map. I can't be really aggressive in taking these trades here. And this rewards you for being patient, for being disciplined.
Yep. Patience is a virtue, right? They need to make sure they're playing this early game, not to the speed of Gen.G, because Gen.G knows if they get a lead, they strike hard, like we saw against Boom Esports yesterday, right? I mean, 3v1, top side of the map, they were just having some fun. But now, Team Vitality, Gen.G, they're kind of playing the same kind of game, right? They're playing very coy, looking for the pickoffs, keeping the intel fresh with their teammates.
Intel is Wintel. You have intel, you get to plan what's the next stages of the game that you're looking for. And right now, Q here just casually clearing out the jungle here, making sure that he's up in tempo off the farm, and Inua here. Still level 3 here, kind of low on resources here for this mid lane coming in from Gen.G Esports.
Yeah, I mean, typical playstyle here from the Liempo, right? 19 just playing the Liempo to get those phase checks. Because, I mean, if you're going to get phase check, it's going to be your tank that's going to be the one that's going to be able to get out alive, like we saw there with the burst ram. Just going over the wall, use that CC immunity so you don't get locked down and picked off as first blood.
It's especially important, like you mentioned here, like the tanks, they have to open up the map. They have to give information, like we mentioned about intel is wintel. If they get open up the map, they give information to all these laners on the side of Vitality. That's when you know, can I be playing aggressive? Will I have to play passive here? All this is very important.
Very important indeed. I mean, right now, obviously, both the farm lanes onto the side of these 2 teams are just kind of having their way, getting their resources. No congestion right now, because we know, obviously, vital parts onto the Gorge is where Gen.G is going to be looking, right? We really want to be trying to set some kind of priority up into the Clash lane for Wawa, so he's able to kind of be a lot more free and able into these team fights.
I'm really putting focus onto Tufts and Wawa here. Yes, we keep coining that, Q. It goes in mid.
No! It's going to be a first blood 80 by Q there. That's going to be the Battlefield command coming through. And this is the deathliness of this pick.
Exactly, and right now, look at this. Ray might be caught out here as Q is dancing around. He still has the ultimate refresh here.
I mean, that was a little bit of a bait right though. I mean, he had intel onto Q, but then flashes out. We see 19 has to use the common skill as well. Wawa from the side lane is going to be pulling under damage. There is Clue, putting the suppression, bringing down 19.
But that's 2 members out of the the side of Vitality here. And right now, if Zankyu's not on the map, this Tyrant goes free towards our Gen.G Esports.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, right? I mean, we always say that D-Ranger, his wave clear gets a lot better with the Spark Forge Dagger, but let's pause that for a moment. Tufts here was trying to go for a bit of engage, kind of just helped out Rock here.
Yeah, it's kind of a desperate approach to really get something back for the team here. As we mentioned, right, the two junglers will be the key factor here, and Rock, two succession in getting the dives here. First, it was on Neil in the mid lane, and second, it was immediately over to the side of Zankyu's Luna.
Yeah, I mean, look at this replay here. I mean, it was a good engage here from Genji, really baiting in Zanky.
And right now, when we talk about objectives, right, it has to be the Crimson Golem here. And right now, look at Rock here. He's putting so much pressure alone and making sure that Zan does not get anywhere near this tower.
Yeah, I mean, he was just keeping him away from that T1, right? The T1 was their primary goal onto the side of Gen.G, and we can kind of see here already. Thanks for the takedowns. Thanks for the first blood. They're ahead by about 1k gold.
Ooh, it's still a very healthy goalie here, but as we mentioned, we still have to see the further team fights, like the 10-minute setup. We still have yet to see Tufts find these backline engages here. So if you are a Vitality roster fan, you gotta be looking at Tufts.
You gotta be looking at Tufts, but you've also got to be looking at Inua here. He does come in untargetable, but it is the Winter is here that's getting placed onto him to keep him out of the team fight. But going down is Clue in this one. Rock onto the backline, gets taken down. Wawa gets out with a scratch.
Crucial team fight DPS of 77%. Zankyu coming out clutch, dashes across the gorge, secures himself a double kill.
A double kill indeed. I mean, that dive into the backline really was a statement piece there onto Rock, right? But right now, that is going to be a big opening here for Team Vitality.
This goes back to the head-to-head, right? Just look at this. Zankyu dancing around the gorge with the new moon, making sure that every attempt he had on his ultimate was always available, and he was single-handedly tearing up the entire roster of Gen.G Esports.
Yeah, tearing it up, and right now we look a bit of a payback here down to the bottom side of the map. Bazan does go down 19, looking to follow his suit also. Double kill going over to Gen.G. Wawa trying to pay a little bit more here, maybe trying to get a 3-0 trade, or maybe just try and aim for this T1.
I feel like every moment we're looking at, it's just these junglers going at it. This head-to-head between these junglers is never getting this serious. Every moment we're talking about, it's Zankyu, it's Rock, it's Zankyu.
This is why we spotlighted them, right? This is exactly why Rock and Zankyu were in our spotlight, and they're showing it perfectly here. And neither of them look as dominant as the other. They are definitely playing to their best strengths.
Oh yeah, they are just playing in this game, so much confidence in this game 1 here.
Yeah, huge confidence. I mean, the confidence is here. Obviously, nullified the kill lead. We saw that Gen.G was ahead, and they've actually been able to go ahead with the gold lead for themselves over the Team Vitality, looking around about that 1.6k gold lead.
And especially, I want to talk about one thing. If you're Vitality, you have a late game safety net on Zan onto Lady Sun, whereas if you're on the side of Gen.G, the D-Ranger is just going to be slowly scaling off here.
Slowly scaling off. We can see here the Junkyu's trying to get away that blue Azure Golem, but it does go over to Rock.
Ooh, very good reflective play here coming in from Rock as he really secures it for himself. So we talked about scalability, right? Lady Sun, yeah, she's not the best of the early game. She has long range. At the very least, when we see Zan scale towards the late game, he might pick up the ominous premonition here to really save himself from the likes of the Rock Jing.
Exactly. It's not a kind of an out-of-pocket itemization. It's just a little bit more defensive. It just makes sure that your enemy team slows down their movement speed as well, right? But I mean, already damage dealt is a matchup here between Zankyu and Rock. And Zankyu right now is 5k gold, 5k damage ahead. But then speak about some more damage coming through for the side of Team Vitality. Tufts actually gets leashed down by the golden token from Ray. But that is going to be a crucial takedown here for Team Vitality.
Jungler going down means one thing. If you're an assassin jungle, you can't be affording to be dying or falling down in these fights because you lose out GPM, you lose out gold to be able to scale a jungler towards the late game stages. And right now, Zankyu, Tufts doing an exceptional good job in stopping Rock.
Exceptionally good. I mean, the fact that he got the takedown onto Rock, he got the emergence down the bot side of the map and then went for the Tyrant. Pay him back the fact they didn't get that neutral objective. And look at that. You were speaking about it briefly, Sagi, is the fact that 9k to 7.1k between Zankyu and Rock is scary, right? But speaking of scary, it's getting a little hairy down to the bot side of the map. We do see 19 just trying to tank a lot of that damage, but it's not going to take and stop that takedown of the T1, T2.
ZanQ and Vitality is pouring exceptionally well here, especially they know their limits. They're only here for what? The tower. After the tower, what is it? It's going to be the Azure Golem. Afterwards, we're just going to be collecting our own jungle, pacing ourselves towards the mid game and towards the Shadow Tyrant that's going to be spawned in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, these neutral objectives are falling like dominoes at this point, right, Ratsagi? I mean, it's definitely playing into Team Vitality's favor for now. But both of these teams, like we've already examined, they like to take the time within the close down of the game. And obviously Genji, they do finish early when they have the advantage in the early game. But right now, there's no advantage in sight for Genji.
Will this be a discomfort coming in from Gen.G Esports? Because with their track record back in the last chance of their group, we were dominating them in every game. So right now, Vitality putting them into a spot where this engage goes through, but it fails as Tufts escapes with a sliver.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that was the bait of the Battlefield command, right? I mean, you could really see that that was the whole idea of the side of Team Vitality, was making sure they expand that big resource, because it does have a big cooldown as well.
Oh, exactly. And 2 ultimates down right before the 10-minute mark, you have no access towards any team fights, especially if your main carry burns their ultimate already.
Yeah, no leverage within these team fights, and Team Vitality do take the first Shadow Tyrant of the game #1. So yes, obviously those shooting at home, this is a best of 5. So this is still not a sprint. It is going to be a marathon between these two teams.
A marathon in terms of hero pool, a marathon in terms of the overall pick and bans, and right now, even under the influence of the Primal Bond, Vitality knows they are strong enough. They look to take the other Shadow Vanguard off the map.
Yeah, looking for complete domination in that 10-minute mark is Team Vitality. They get the takedown of the Shadow Overlord. So already they've got the pressure into the mid and to the bot side. So this is going to allow them to surmise a little bit more of a lead for themselves.
Man, one hand onto the Tyrant, one hand onto the Overlord. They have team fight prowess. They have the map clear here. Just look at this wave coming in from Rock onto the bot side. A Vanguard will shortly be summoned towards the bot side to bring all 3 waves crashing down Gen.G's base.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like the saving grace there for the side of Gen.G. Maybe it was played into their playbook. I mean, only time will tell, but it was definitely a solid attempt here for Rock to try and get some pressure down to the bot side.
And right now, we need to see how Gen.G really plays these defense, right? Because from last few days, they were always on the dominating force. They were never pushed to this certain extent here. And right now, Vitality is the first few teams to actually push them to this extent.
To push them to the extent and push them to the limit, right? I mean, around about 4K gold lead, almost surmising to that 5K. Yes, we see here that Team Vitality have lost the Tyrant buff for now, but they do have the Vanguards.
Yep, they do have the Vanguard, and Lady Sun, with the spell 1 rolling rig, can be damaging towers out of her range. The tower won't be hitting you, and the Lady Sun will be damaging hard. And look at the build coming in. Already finishing the Daybreaker, and as we talked about, we'll slowly be working towards the ominous premonition with this cloth armor pickup.
Yeah, I mean, the 10K to the 7.8K between Zan and Ray, is obviously already showing here that the fact that they are 5-slotted rather than 4-slotted here is pretty huge between these two fights.
And damn, look at the side of ZanQ here, 1,000 gold per minute here, but the engage goes in. Nothing much to be picked up from the side of Gen.G here as 19. Without burning anything, baits out all the spells from Gen.G.
I mean, a little bit trigger-happy on this Battlefield command, right? We see Clue as soon as Rock goes in. He's like, guys, I'm pressing the ulti. I don't care. I'm doing it. You're not going to stop me. But I feel like that might be the detriment to their draft within this game #1.
Exactly, and it's a very solo carry type of team composition, especially there is no late game safety net if this Jinx does not perform.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, we said already, Team Vitality do have that safety net. Gen.G don't quite have that same kind of privilege within this one. And speaking of privilege, you need those higher ground turrets to have that privilege into the late game.
With how ZanQ and Zan is playing, especially Zan escaping from all these engages, it's kind of hard for Wawa or Rock to really find these engages to capture the late game safety net, making ZanQ isolated for their team to be taking down.
Exactly that, right? I mean, we're literally looking at the potential here of Team Vitality looking like the favorites in this game #1. I mean, Gen.G, we've seen teams come back from a much worse situation. No high ground turrets, no problem. We just need to get the resources and then take the right team fights. But we already said already, Team Vitality like to play the long game.
They indeed like to play the long game, and they're exceptionally well in these team fights. And look at ZanQ going for 3-man.
A bit of a 5v1 rotation there. Tufts gets 1, but Rock goes in with the Mirror Domain. He's going to be on top with a Battlefield Command, but that's not going to stop ZanQ getting the kill onto Rock, onto Inua. Looking to take some more onto Ray as well. That is a 4-0 trade. Triple kill going over to Team Vitality.
Tubbs and Zanq, the two key differences, making light work of the side of Gen.G Esports as they secure such a clean game one.
Ooh, that was feisty. I mean, Genji in the early game was thinking, guys, like, honestly, this is looking hairy for Team Vitality. And then Team Vitality was just like, bet, hold my drink, we're going in.
I really love the fact that the entire early game, pre-4 minutes, it was just these two junglers duking it out, making sure that whoever gets the early game lead, they get to scale towards the mid stages of the game. Just look at this. Rock immediately, before the Tyrant spawn, takes out Neil. Following this play, yes, Zanq gets onto Ray, but Ray gets to escape, and immediately Zanq gets punished heavy here.
Yeah, I mean, there was some like flickers of hope here for the side of Genji. I mean, we saw the bait like we just saw there on the replay, Sagi. The bait of Jonq thanks to Ray. But at that moment, maybe that was the moment of realization here for Team Vitality, that they knew they cannot be taking bait into these team fights. But here, that fight into the mid lane was huge.
Exactly, and every moment in this early game was just these two junglers competing themselves on who can make the better play, who can make the better catch. After this, just look at Zanq. He single-handedly killed 2 here on the side of Gen.G.
Kills 2, kills 3. I mean, he got the
my.
quadra kill towards the end, man. I mean, that was so punishing, but it's just been a little bit of, like we said, in the head-to-head, right? The highlight between Jonq and Rock was definitely where the focal point needed to be within these team fights.
And this game, this final fight, the focal point was on Tubbs on the initial engage, and look at Zanq. Thanks to the GPM that he got so much gold, and his damage was literally unstoppable.
Unstoppable, and that is going to be the breakdown of the crystal.
Man, what a spicy game one towards the start of a best of 5 here, Blam. I'm telling you, Gen.G, they're not backing down without a fight, but they definitely have to go back to the drawing board after this.
Go back to the drawing board, indeed.
Well, I don't think that we've ever just had a head-to-head that has been so much more accurate. Like, this was a matter of the junglers, both of them, Zanq and Rock, great performances, really just trying their very best to try to demonstrate that they dictate the tempo. And Zanq with the best game right now.
With the best game right now, but I honestly feel like with that Lu Bang, obviously we've been seeing up into the clash lane, but now we see it down to the bot side of the map. And it feels like the fact that Clue was always constantly activating his ultimate battlefield command whenever Rock went in, felt like a little bit of a confidence issue here.
I do think that this comes down to draft, right?
Yeah.
Because you think about it, when we talk about the clash lane, we want the battlefield command to be an explosive tool instead of a defending tool. We go down to the roamer, you don't have the exploding factor because you're not building damage. You're building the full tank, you're building utility. You do not have enough gold. And one more thing, you do not get to push out the side lanes as you are compared to a clash lane.
You don't indeed. I mean, I feel quite bad, obviously. I do my daily predictions. This time around, it's the first time I've predicted for Gen.G to win.
Yeah.
Maybe I've cursed them. I'm sorry.
Well, it's totally fine. At the end of the day, it's going to be a best of 5. First game is not that important. The first game is just a matter of understanding what you can get out of them. For me, in terms of best of 5s, it's always about the ban and pick.
Yes.
What you get them to expend in the first game so they do not have it available for the next ones is actually what's going to dictate exactly where this game is going to go.
And if you think about towards that perspective, there's still a lot of these strong picks that has yet to be expended, especially on the side of Gen.G. You still have the priority coming in from the likes of the Maestro Nui, from the likes of the Arlie, especially Rock's favorite Pei has yet to be picked yet.
Well, they already used the Genji though.
They did, on side of Gen.G, they did. I mean, this is where we kind of see the limitations of Ray into the farm lane, right? I mean, yes, he's played the Diranger, he's played the Flowborn Marksman, I believe, as well, and obviously gone for the Lady's Son also. So really, he's only got a few more picks to go, and this was where we could kind of see potentially the limitations of Gen.G.
Do you think that Gen.G in any moment of the game had an opportunity to actually take control of it? Or it was always Team Vitality that once that they were in command?
I think pre-4 minutes to 6 minutes, Rock was having a field day. He was getting engaged after engage. I think at one point he had like 4 kills all towards himself. But Zanq was always actively looking for these opportunities to get the game back to his grasp. And I really commend him on that because he single-handedly took control back from Rock.
Okay, but in which moment of the game does Rock just lose complete control of that and then Team Vitality just takes it back? What was the core moment that happened?
The core moment was these huge pickups into the mid lane, right? I mean, we saw, what was it, a double kill, almost a triple kill, and then they open up that T1. So into the mid lane, those are at home, if you focus that T1 into the mid lane, you then open up your enemy's jungle. And who's reliant on jungle? Rock on the Jing.
Exactly, and if you fall behind, as we talked about, as an assassin, especially in this assassin matchup, you're going to be losing on a lot of gold, and your buffs, your objectives are going to be faltering at any given moment here. You're not a tank. Once you're behind us, an assassin, you won't be doing damage.
Right now, for Gen.G, in my personal opinion, I think that they did have the early game, they did have the pace.
Oh, yes.
They did not know exactly how to solidify that. They had a very different opponent today in front of them. They had Team Vitality. Team Vitality is known, as we explained at the beginning, for being able to stall, to try to push the games to later times. Gen.G is going to have to come up with something different right now for Game 2.
For Game 2, I want to see more focus being shifted onto a tempo jungler on the side of Rock here. Yes, Rock was playing a heavy, reliant type of jungle where he was always on the active front, looking for these big engages here. But props to Vitality. They were positioned very beautifully towards the mid to late stages of the game. They were always aware of where is Rock and what angle is Rock coming from.
And not only that, it was the angle of where Wawa was coming from, right? I mean, there was so many times in that team fight where Wawa was situated to the side of it, and then you had 19 just always catching him off. I mean, that was the whole thing of 19 on the Liempo.
I did say about 19, the fact that the vision that he is given and everything is actually one of the reasons why his team is actually being able to push forward, right? So the roaming that he's doing, the information that he's giving is dictating what's happening in here.
And exactly, and just now we saw from the stats, 47% damage coming in from ZanQ alone onto this jungle assassin. And just look at him, 14 minutes on the clock, 14.6k onto this monster Luna.
That's a K per minute. That is a K per minute onto the side of Team Vitality. But like he was saying there, the phrase that Sagi coined within that game was, Intel is the Wintel.
Intel is the Wintel. Well, boys, right now we're going to have to move to Game 2. Game 1, we need to leave it behind. We need to start understanding what are we going to have to do in Game 2 in order to don't allow the 2-0. Now, that is the one thing. The first game, yeah, it's all right. You don't take it, no biggie. But you don't take the second one and you put yourself in a 2-0, then you need to win 3 in a row.
Oh, reverse sweep stories are really nice, but practically speaking, it's very stressful and tough to actually execute it, especially we talked about here, Blam.
Yeah.
Ray and his hero pool in this best of 5 will be probably a very big factor coming in from Gen.G's loss.
A big factor, and I mean, maybe if they do get to that point, maybe we'll start to see the switch up between Ray and Rock in their formation. Rock goes down back to bot side, and then Ray starts to take formation into those tank jungles.
That is something that we have been talking about since day one in here, right? That's one of their characteristics. They have the ability to just swap players in that lane. If you give different roles to the players, is that something that Team Vitality have been prepared for?
I do think so as well, because everyone known for a fact that Vitality pre-KWC 2025, they were a team to put Rock always onto a carry, be it the jungle, be it the farm lane. Farm lane, when it comes to something very hyper-mechanic, like the early, Rock will be getting it. Jungle, if you put it on Assassins, he will perform. And Ray, he was always on these duties of being the tank, like the Dun, like the Ogre, like the Monkey. Or when it comes to the farm lane, he'll be playing safe like the Gen.G.
Blam, what do you think?
I think that could be the cause for a concern here for the side, obviously, Gen.G, that they might have to pull this out so early within the competition. Maybe it's something they're really relying on to kind of see them into the playoffs and then reveal that identity. But hey, this is the last chance. You have to pull out your big guns.
It is their last chance to stay alive and to move forward. Before we move into game number 2, let's talk about game number 1, MVP. Clearly, it's going to have to be ZanQ on that Luna 7-1-2 KDA.
He was an absolute monster here. He single-handedly, without any prior setup, managed the game for his team towards the early to mid stage of the game. Just as you wonder, like, oh my, Rock is super on form onto this Jing. He was saying like, hey, I can do that too, and I can do that better.
Yeah, he did do better. I mean, after that 4-minute mark, after we saw that Battlefield Command and Mirror Domain kind of combination between those two picks, it became very stale, very early, because Team Vitality was just like, all right, bet, we'll just bait it out, and then you've got to wait quite a while for the cooldown of that duration of the skill.
both of the junglers already spent two very big picks, right?
Oh, yes.
The Luna on one side, the Jing on the other side. I am looking forward to another Luna coming in, but I do believe that that's going to be put on the bans.
Ooh, when we talk about Luna coming in, you have two things you have to take note about.
Yeah.
You can't allow the pay. You can't be allowing the early here. And those two picks coming into this draft, it's a very rare scenario here, especially coming into this best of 5.
Into the best of 5. I mean, if we're going to start looking, obviously, the take out of the Luna or the Jing here into the first parts of the banning phase, then you're going to allow stuff like the Mai Shiranui to come through. But what's not going to come through, which has been kind of like a bit of a historical tradition within the KWC, is the early. They're considered and keep going to make sure that Zan does not get that pick.
Zan not getting the hands onto the early will be a definite pick as well, but who gets the pick? It will be Inua onto this Mai Shiranui that he has such a great performance back in yesterday, but that gives away the pay. The Byron combo here going to the side of Team Vitality, which may be the potential pickup.
It could be the potential pickup. I mean, Pei has not been banned out just yet, and they do need their Clash Lane. I mean, Clash Lanes have generally been part of the first part of the picking phase, but no, they're going to get over to 19, and honestly, I feel like this is a good call, right? We are replacing the Lianpo with the Zhongfei. Who do we know that can phase check just as well as Lianpo? The Zhongfei.
And 19 has had amazing job being the front line, being the intel gatherer
Yes.
off the side of Vitality here. So prioritizing the Zhang Fei coming in from Vitality for 19, it's a smart move.
Yes, smart move indeed. I mean, the only time we've seen the Yukio Tachibana was on Clean with Twisted Minds, and it's a great counter to
The pay. We saw it before, like you mentioned, Twisted Mind Clean, picking up the Ukyo Tachibana here. It's a good matchup against the Pei, because why? Pei likes to jump in. And Ukyo, he has a lot of burst when you're near his face.
Oh, when you're near his face, indeed. But speaking of burst, we're getting a little bit more burst here for the side of Team Vitality. Zhan wasn't able to get the Ali, but he gets to pick up the Lalung. So we know that he's going to be overextending into these team fights when he has the infinite vastness come through on this pick.
I have the same worry coming in from Gen.G Esports.
Yep.
The first 3 picks compared to Vitality, Gen.G Esports, they love to play the early game here. And right now, these 3 picks, if they don't get a superb lead in the 8 to 10 minute mark, they're gonna have a tough time when we scale towards the later stages of the game here, Blam.
Exactly that. I mean, speaking of obviously scaling towards a late game, the late game insurance here for Team Vitality is obviously going to be Lung, right? And we really want to protect in this pick for the side of Team Vitality, which really shines these bands here, right? The Ho Yi and the Consort Yu. These have been 2 picks that like to counter the Lung.
And this is what we talk about coming in from the best of 5 series here. If you don't have a sufficient hero pool to back it up, you're gonna be the shining target from the side of these coaches to target you and lock you down in this best of 5.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of lockdown, we see that obviously Gen.G has started to kind of look at the top side of the map as well here. So obviously, Team Vitality, they used the Dharma in game number 1. They banned it out for themselves. And now they're banning out the Fati, they're banning out the Sunset. So up into the Clash lane, will we see the likes of a Mai Yin looking for some pickup potential, potentially?
That may be the potential here, right? The Mayin, the Alain potentially. But of course, we've seen the side of Wawa here. He had a fantastic Mayin as well. It can be a potential pickup here, but they did pick up the Byron here. So it favors the Byron if it is a Byron into a Mayin matchup in the 1v1.
In the 1v1, exactly. I mean, what was Gen.G really like lacking before these 2 picks came through was definitely, obviously, some more late game. With obviously Lady Soon, we were saying it in the post-game 1 analyst that Ray really only has like a few more picks, and here it is. He is one of the picks that we've mentioned, but also the sustainability here from Hugh1. Also, Clue had a great performance on this for the KWC so far.
For me, Gen.G Esports' second game draft is definitely starting to fix up what they really missed out in game 1. Especially if you look at the first 4 picks here, it's exceptionally well to tackle Zan and Zan Q onto these strong picks. Especially Zan Q wants to play fast onto this pay here. What's greater than that? You have the Mai Shiranui, Byron, and Ukyo Tachibana. This is a very strong trio in the early game.
A very strong trio in the early game. I mean, are we going to be seeing that kind of Gen.G that we saw they play against Boom yesterday, where we saw very sort of like heavy rotations from jungle and mid up to the top side, really putting toughs to the paces?
For me, it definitely stems on one key thing, like we talked about back in the pre-game, before game 1. It comes down to which of these teams can play around and give their jungle a very comfortable space to play and carry the game.
Play, carry, and make that pace, right? I mean, Rock had the pace in the early game of game number 1, but then it was soon given over to Jiang Q. But right now, we're going to look at that overall draft of these two teams, right? Gen.G going up against Team Vitality. If we're looking at this one, obviously we do have great control senses here from the Destructive Deluge as well as the Unbridled Outburst. We also have the fact that we can be baiting the side of Gen.G in on top of Zahn as long as he has that infinite vastness to get out and just kind of make sure that then the rest of the team come round and try and culminate onto that team fight.
Gen.G Esports in this game really has to put their focus onto Inua, onto Rock, to really find these early tempos, to build the lead if they want to see Vitality towards the late game.
See Vitality towards the late game, or is it going to be Gen.G taking game 2 here from Team Vitality? Only time will tell, but momentum currently sits onto the side of the court of Team Vitality.
And look at 19 here, he face checks into 4 members of the side of Gen.G here, but he gets out live with the Leaping Savior.
Yeah, Leaping Savior was literally by name, by nature, the Leaping Savior, but it does mean that Jiangqiu is able to get access into the enemy's Crimson Golem here, shortly lived, checked up by Inua.
Seems like a trade is happening here onto the map here, so at least both teams here, they do not lose in terms of the early game as they get an equal trade onto the Crimson buff here. However, it does seem like Gen.G has more of a top lane priority here, especially coming in from the side of the Byron matchup.
Coming in from the side of the Byron matchup, that 1v1 definitely favors Wawa for now, but I mean, the HP regen here for the side of Team Vitality onto the Mayin is definitely going to help them kind of sustain that engage in the 1v1.
And Inua steals away the Spike Tail Beast there. Man, to add insult to injury, Inua onto this match journey, he seems to be heating up.
He seems to be heating up. I mean, honestly, I was thinking going into this one that maybe Gen.G, without the momentum, could show a bit of a weak sign here for Inua, but he's proving me wrong.
Oh yeah, I have to see how he's going to set them up for success here, because back when we saw Wawa and Inua onto these two picks, they had an amazing performance here. And especially, look at now, we talked about this, the Gen.G lineup, they need to prosper in the 8 to 10 minute of the game. They need to make sure they make Jiangqiu and Vitality lives hard in this early game.
I mean, they already are, right? I mean, we've already seen that Rock's overextending into the enemy jungle. He's taken a few of the enemy camps at this point in the game. But at the same time, the gold lead is pretty much not even night and day. It's probably 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., you know?
There's not much of a difference here, so they really need your cheer to support your favorite team, especially Gen.G and Vitality needs your cheer right now.
They need the cheer. They need all the support they can get, right? But right now, we are seeing a little bit more of a tit for tat into the early game. They're looking to try and get a few early pickups. I mean, right now, before he gets to level 4 is where you really want to be focusing 19. But as soon as he gets to that level 4, it's a different ball game.
Just look at the Crimson buff here. Look at Wawa and Inua's position here. It's a very dangerous place to be here, 19.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You got one in the brush here, you got one to your right, and then if you even come from this angle, the double knock-up, the triple knock-up, the setup for Gen.G in this early game is huge.
We are talking about this. Inua and Wawa once again, the key playmakers here comes in clutch. I am loving this energy from Gen.G Esports.
They're coming back with a boom. I mean, they've taken out Boom Esports, but they've definitely acquired it for themselves into this game too, and it's exactly what we needed here from Gen.G.
Man, this early game just got destroyed wide open for the side of Gen.G Esports. They are right now in the driver's seat. We have a healthy 1.5k goal lead.
That's exactly it. I mean, we was on about having the great 8 to 10 minutes, right? But what gets you there? It's having that early resources in the mid game. But honestly, look at this. Wow. A triple man knockup. They couldn't do anything.
There was no counterplay to the end. Inua, Wawa played that to perfection, and Ray might be a victim here towards the hands of Vitality as they get a comfort kill onto the side of Ray here.
Comfort kill indeed. I mean, to me, it seemed more a bit of a revenge kill, but at the same time, we are seeing Tufts is a little bit lost in the sauce here. It's going to be Neil dropping the Destructive Deluge to get his teammate out.
Woo. Quick feature coming in from Tufts here. Makes it out alive, makes it out safely here. And Inua, making sure that his presence is there onto the gorge. Tufts, you want to go back here, you gotta think of an alternative way.
Oh, yes. I mean, going in with the skill, knowing that Inua was going to be there is definitely a good playstyle here from Team Vitality's Tufts. But I want to know one thing. Is Neil a dancer? Because he's thinking on his feet, man.
He is thinking on his feet as well, because right now, you gotta be thinking, okay, Vitality, what's the game plan here? How do we stall the insane mid to early game here coming in from the side of Gen.G? Because 19 is gonna fall victim again.
Oh, it's a takedown here. I mean, Gen.G get the Tyrant, they get the takedown onto the Zhang Fei. So front line is gonna be sacrificed for another 10 minutes.
That's another 10 minutes, and that's another going to the hands of the side of Genji in terms of the tower here. That makes for one thing. Zan is having lesser and lesser space to farm right now as this long. He needs so much items to scale towards the mid to late stages of the game.
He does indeed, right? I mean, it's not like he's had like the best lead here. I mean, he's what, 200 gold up at this moment in time, but he's lost his T1. So like you were saying there, Sagi, he's not going to have that safety net to go back on for now. But what we're going to be looking at is obviously trying to keep this T1 into the mid lane alive.
Exactly, and what you want to be coming in from the side of Gen.G Esports, they will be looking to break your outer turrets, and they'll be looking for all these angles to enter your Crimson, your Azure Golem, if you're on the side of Team Vitality here. And especially, if you look at the map right now, if you're looking at towers here, Genji's having a field day right now.
Genji is having a field day. They've opened up the side lanes exactly the way they need to into this mid game to get a lot of pressure onto the side of Team Vitality. Something that was lacking in game number 1.
Oh yeah, and I'm especially loving Gen.G Esports game 2 early game here. Inua, coming in clutch, he's been having such a beautiful engage.
Very good engage. I mean, those triple man knockups into the early part of the team fight really made me rethink my position on here with Inua and the Mai Shiranui.
And this Mai Shiranui single-handedly zoning out tree, throwing out these Kachosas, these spell tools. Look at Zan. He's already so low from 2 spells.
So low from 2 spells. I mean, all it takes is a bit of a collapse here from Genji, and then that's it. We force the Infinite Vastness. He gets out of the team fight. But look at this. T2 takedown into the bot side of the map. We're seeing a Genji domination here.
And we're talking about this, right? Zan Q onto the space. He needs the items. He needs the gold here. But right now, the space for him to farm is just getting so small here. And if Genji keeps up this tempo without any counterplay from Vitality, it's going to be spelling doom for Vitality in this game too.
Yeah, farm potential for the side of Team Vitality is diminishing by the second, Sagi. I mean, we're at around about 6 minutes. 19 is not looking too happy with not being able to phase check these bushes the way that he was able to in game number 1.
And especially that he's so far away from his first Roman item here, he desperately needs that upgrade, that active spell, be it to clear out the waves, be it to show vision, be it to give shielding. So he definitely needs to be able to reach this Roman item first.
Roman item first, but how do you get the Roman item? Your hero first has to rise. So hero rise is your CD key for the redemption in game. And right now, I don't think it's the heroes that are rising. The minions right now, they're pushing that mid lane. They deserve a props.
And Gen.G is the one definitely rising right now as they are looking to position themselves to target onto this Crypto Golem.
See a bright light burst. He does use it, but is there going to be a follow-up here? John-Q maybe gets stuck in the destructive deluge. He does. Inua from the sideline gets the kill. Ray onto John-Q as well. You don't lose your support, you lose your jungle as well.
Wow, Inua once again finding these angles onto the members of Vitality here. Inua is on fire on this Mai Shiranui here.
He is on fire. I mean, the portrait for Mai Shiranui definitely has flames in the background, right? I'm not tripping. That is the case, and he is bringing the heat. I mean, Saudi's already hot enough.
Saudi's really hot enough, and he's even bringing more heat here, and Ray here. We talked about this. He might be the magnifying weakness here, but if your team is playing so well here, he's just going to be farming and being the safety net that Gen.G requires.
Exactly. I mean, Gen.G Ray right now is just living in the shadow of the rest of Gen.G, and that's absolutely fine, because what do we know about Lady Sun? Lady Sun needs to get to that late game, needs to get those resources. How do you want to do that? Under the radar.
Under the radar and farming as we speak here, and right now, the entire jungle, again, being countered from the side of Gen.G Esports. Brave the cheeky ultimate steals away his own team's Azure Golem, but it's A-okay. He's a lady, so he needs the Azure Golem.
Exactly. I mean, if it's given away, you may as well take it for free, right? I mean, that's going to be better off into the hands of Gen.G than Team Vitality at this point. I mean, John-Q is not going to be having the happiest of times not having that extra cooldown reduction.
Oh man, exactly. And look at the side of Rock here. He knows for a fact that if he doesn't die in these team fights, he's going to be sustaining with the ultimate. He's going to be dancing around the team fights. Look at him. Ominous Premonition already here. And who's the primary target that's doing damage here from side Vitality? It's Tufts on the Mayin. It's Zan-Q on the Pei. It's Zan onto this Long. All three of them, one thing in common. Physical damage.
Physical damage. And obviously they need to get out of a team fight if they aren't looking like it's going to be going into their favor. But speaking of favors, it's definitely the T2 going into the favor of Gen.G into the top side of the map for now.
It indeed is a dominating fashion. 9 minutes, all outer towers are down here. They are in such a comfortable lead here, Blam.
very comfortable lead. They're just kind of just pushing and prodding towards the high ground turret. They've got about 34 seconds left on this Tyrant. It's not even the Shadow Tyrant at this point, right?
Exactly, and in 40 seconds on the clock, they can move towards the double objective takes off the Shadow variant and can look to close out the game just like how Vitality did back in Game 1.
Back in Game 1. Definitely a more dominant Genji in Game number 2, right? I mean, even if you're just looking between these lanes gold, they're just trying to get a bit of catch into the back line here with Clue, the CC from the Shu-1. Clue's been playing the Shu-1 as well, like really well.
Indeed, he was always beating the front line, pushing out these vision, making sure that he lands all these stuns here. But if you want to give props, it definitely has to be Wawa Inua here. Man, they are so good in this game.
They're laying it on thick as well, right? I mean, they've got the advantage with obviously into the enemy jungle, but they're not kind of just like doing nothing with it. They're just securing everything, and it's just completely making this goal lead even bigger between Gen.G and Team Vitality.
A very dominant goal lead, right? And look at them right now. They are finishing up this Tyrant here, and they want to formulate a push right here. They are looking to fight over this Crimson Golem that potentially is about to be spawning soon, because one thing's for sure, if you lose out all these outer tier turrets, all these tier 2s, you have no control over your jungle.
I mean, it's already looking like they've got no control, right? I mean, you're seeing 5 men rotating at the same time. That's not where you want to be when you're playing on here Honor of Kings, right? You want to make sure that you're kind of moving in a pincer movement, getting those split pushes, but right now, Team Vitality do not have that privilege.
They indeed do not have that privilege because there's so much pressure here coming in from Gen.G Esports here, and right now, they're looking to formulate a final push here at the very least. Clear up all the tier 3s, rinse and repeat, get that Shadow Vanguard, and then they look for the game-ending push.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, just maybe, Team Vitality stall into wait for this Shadow Tyrant buff to go off, right? Because, I mean, the extra damage coming through onto Gen.G wasn't necessarily needed. It's just going to make these team fights a little bit more impactful for the side of Gen.G. You
get the extra damage, you get the zap onto the ulti, so you definitely have a lot of damage. And just look at this masterclass here coming in from Gen.G Esports. Secures both sides, almost going down. Brock gets it, and that's 2 towers already down. And right now, they're going to play slow. They're going to be very chill with it. They revisit back the jungle, recollect the resources, and they revisit the Shadow Vanguard. Whew, masterclass.
Masterclass in opening your enemy's base, right? I mean, like you were saying, they're chilling, but they're being aggressive. So it's a very chilling aggression here coming from Gen.G at this point. But I mean, just look how low the kill count is for both of these teams. It's a 6-kill game. This is like completely different story to Season 3, to all the competitions last year.
And low kill count, it's okay. But look at the amount of goalie here. 12 minutes? That's a 10,000 goalie we're looking at.
10,000, that's a big fat band of stacks, right? I mean, definitely what Gen.G need going into this game number 2 when they don't have a point onto the board, putting that down to the bot side of the map. I believe it's going to come through here, but potentially these Vanguards could be the last frontal assault that Gen.G need.
Exactly here, and Ray, with the help of the Rolling Ray Spell 1, pokes down the final tier 3 coming in from the side of Vitality here. There are no more turrets. The Crystal stands alone for Vitality here as the Vanguards, look at it, slowly marching towards the base.
As the boys in blue look to run through into Team Vitality's base, Team Vitality right now are able to cleanse that off, but with the Vanguards coming through, this is going to be trouble. Into the backline, in trouble is Neil. Tuff's looking pretty low, he gets taken down. Even at fastness, it's already been expanded here. But before he can even land, the Crystal is taken down by Gen.G.
We were talking about this, right? How do they recover coming in from Game 2 here after Zhangqiu's dominating Game 1? But man, that was such a beautiful escalated game, pre-planned game by the side of Gen.G Esports, especially props to Inua, props to Rock. They perform so darn well.
Perform very well. I mean, even on like a pick like the Ukyo Tachibana, right? I mean, we were seeing it into the draft. This pick obviously is a great counter into the pay, but what we really wasn't shining on here is obviously due to statistics. Maisha Lee comes through, doesn't quite perform sometimes, but Inua, he performs super well.
He indeed performs super well. Multi-man catches, always landing onto the cruel key targets. Look at this. Inua, he's lurking, he got 19 spell, immediately flash engage onto 2, securing the kill onto Zhangqiu. And we talked about this. If Zhangqiu falls, they have no chance of making any tempo plays.
Exactly. If Zhangqiu does fall, the tempo play is not going to be in your best interest right now. And right now, we are going to get into this one as well. So obviously, Gen.G were able to bring that one back in game number 2. So this is now 1-1.
what a game coming in from Gen.G, right? 1-1 with such a dominating game after losing game 1 like that. They have a strong mental game that you really need in these best of 5s.
Momentum is very strong here for the boys. I mean, let's see what they're going to do with this game number 3, right?
I was just walking around, just trying to figure out what's going on in here, man. Like, I am just kind of like just running all over the place, just kind of like checking, like, is it Gen.G? Is it Team Vitality? I want to know about it, man. Like, I'm just like kind of like literally all over the place right now.
Yeah, I mean, was you going around looking for extra gold for Team Vitality? Because they weren't finding it for themselves.
I was roaming, man. You know it. You know it. You know that I'm always roaming, trying to get the vision, trying to get the stories surrounding here. But, well, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about this, because one of the important things that we just saw was that Mai Shiranui.
Yes.
For me, that Mai Shiranui was the winning condition for this game. It was just impossible for them to be able to get this dub if it wouldn't have been for that hero.
Exactly, and he had a masterclass performances. We talked about this. Okay, Pei, you want to play the early game. You want to dictate the tempo here. And for the side of Gen.G, they countered that insanely well. I would say perfect with the Mai Shiranui, with the Ukyo Tachibana combo, mitigating any early game hopes that Pei wanted to have.
But it's just like the opening of it was just so beautiful. It was the way that they just started the game, that Mai Shiranui waiting in the bush, and then just comes in, 3 people come, check on the bush, turns around, immediately bursts them out.
I mean, that's the thing, right? With Mai Shiranui, what we've been seeing within the KWC is that people have just been picking her and sticking in lane. But what was the one thing that Inuit wasn't doing? He just wasn't in lane. He was giving it all over that resources in the mid lane to rock, getting in fat, getting in big, and Inuit was getting those big pickups.
Yeah, I would love his positioning, his lurk, his flanks, and his spell usage. It was just so on point here. Every time you see Inua, okay, he's lurking around these team fights. He's sticking into this bush that potentially multi-members of the side of Vitality will face check. And in the end, they get punished hard.
They get punished hard. I mean, it's going to be sat here on the stats as well, right? I mean, 50k damage here for the side of Gen.G Inua, and the fact that he had 75% team fight rate, well, as he was there setting up these early team fights also.
That's exactly the case. He was always there, and he was the key playmaker here. And also, Clue, he was also across the board here. 100% team fight rate here. He was everywhere.
And that's important, just for people to understand that 100% team fight means that every single time that they just started throwing hands, that person was there. And having one extra player in these big games, it can be crucial for the victory.
Absolutely crucial. I mean, you can see here that even though he was always into the team fights, Clue did not drop a single death either.
Exactly.
So really playing this Yu1 to perfection.
Playing this Yuan to perfection, playing this Ukyo Tachibana to perfection here. I do think that we're seeing a trend here, guys. Pei being the hyper-aggressive, super high-value pick here in the KWC, and especially a frequent visitor towards the ban. Seems like Ukyo Tachibana is the answer towards to this pick.
It seems right? I mean, it's definitely, it didn't work when we saw Twisted Minds pick it up. I mean, it put the pressure on, but it didn't get the dub. So it is obviously infecting onto the Gorge, and the effects are felt there. But the overall victory, I feel like this is his first win for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Let's talk a little bit about that for the people that are completely new to our big tournaments, and when we go move from a best of 3 into a best of 5 or best of 7. We knew that the Luna was already out there, right?
Yes.
Like, we knew that Team Vitality was not going to allow that. And Sagi mentioned it. He said, if you do ban that Luna, then you put the Arlie and the Pei out there. And what was the choice? Okay, the Pei. So it comes to Gen.G to understand, if I am going to allow the Pei in there, then how do I counter that? And Ukyo Tachibana was the perfect answer.
The Ukyo, the Mai, everything was on a perfect lockdown to really counter the Pei's early game. Because we know for a fact, Mai Shiranui also has a fantastic early game. Ukyo also has a strong early game. You pair that up together, you mitigate the Pei's approach in coming the early game.
Everyone just played an amazing game in here. It was really good. The synergy and the communication in between them. For me, the MVP for the game gotta be Mai Shiranui. It's got to be Inua. The way that he started, like he just made that opening. Every single time that Gen.G needed him to stand and be big, he stood up and was gigantic.
Oh, absolutely. He stood on his business, right? I mean, that triple man knock up into the first part of the team fight. At that moment in time, I was just thinking, this is it. This is the lead that Gen.G needed.
The battle of the early game, and Inua came out clutch, deserving the MVP title of Game 2. He was so good. The engages were so clean.
Very clean indeed. I mean, that's the clean victory that you need for game number 2, right? I mean, if it wasn't, then Team Vitality could have been looking at a different scoreline here, 2-0, which what we were saying before game number 2 is like, you don't want to be in that situation if you're Gen.G. And Gen.G was like, all right, bet, we're not going to be in that situation.
Let's not push it for the 2-0. Let's go for the 1-1. And the 1-1 is the result right now. As we move into the next game, we already have some heroes that cannot be played no more. And that is going to be crucial because best of 5, you come to game 3 with a 1-1, the BP is going to be crucial, right, Sagi?
More and more heroes are going to be expended, and you cannot be practicing your perfect composition here. Like, all these assassins are starting to flow away the hands of Vitality and Gen.G here. So you look at this, you're going to be thinking like, okay, Vitality, Rock, these two players, Vitality, Zangq, and Rock, you want to be locking them away from these carry picks here. And what's the better way of doing it? Global ban pick.
Okay, so it's going to come to a moment in the game where we are going to have to go in there with the tank kind of jungler. That has not been the meta for these 6 days. Is it going to show up in the next games?
I mean, it almost showed up in the last game, right? I mean, Orgren was the second ban for the side of Gen.G, so they really thought, you know what, maybe that's what Zangq is going to go for in this game number 2, try a bit of a different flavor, but it is definitely going to be destined to come along.
If it is not the Orgren, could it be the Twin? Because Twin, again, has not been a meta pick in these last 6 days.
Ooh, we gotta see, right? Because Dolia, it has historically performed pretty well, or we might see the Orgren and Diadea combo as mentioned by Blam here. So there are still different ways of playing this game aside from the assassins here. We still have to look at, is this the best way of allowing your team to get the dub, or is it the best way of formulating a winning team composition here?
I think that right now for everyone at home, I'm going to invite you to do a little activity with us. I want you to take a piece of paper right now. I want you to take a pen or a pencil as you like, and then just start writing down all the possible options, and then just try to predict. Just try to predict what you would do if you would be the coaches. Draw it down, and then you start thinking about the players that you have, the heroes that they can play, and try to do that so you can understand how difficult it is to be an HOK coach.
It indeed is very difficult here because of the global ban pick system here. Aside from having to think about your heroes, you have to think about the bans, you have to remember every single hero that has been expended and banned in the previous games.
Exactly that, right? I mean, it's either you remember it or you ban it. And you can see here, the side of Gen.G, remember that they picked the Mai Shiranui and they're going to ban it out because they don't want Team Vitality to take that. And then vice versa, we obviously have the Luna pick here, been banned out, already used for the side of Team Vitality. But Dharma, once again, is having no show onto the Gorge, but Liang coming through here, maybe forcing Team Vitality to pick up a tank pick into the jungle.
Ooh, we have seen this Liang before, right? It has been banned several times. It has been one of the few picks that has been the frequent visitors of the ban slot here.
Yeah.
And if you look over the side of Vitality here, you're opening up the picks like the Arlie up for grabs. But yet again, you talked about it. How to counter the Liang. You need a beefy frontline. And what does it well? It has to be the Dune.
Dune here coming through with the Dolia, like you mentioned earlier, Sagi, is going to be the combo that we're looking for within this game number 3. So we're going to have a solid front line. We're going to have that double Unruly Blade come through, or maybe even get paired somewhere else within this lineup.
Well, we talked about the assassin matchups, right?
Yep.
The two junglers coming into the global ban pick here at Game 3. They're coming along with the tank matchups right now. These two tanks are going to be the beefy boys, and the carry responsibilities will fall onto the hands of the other players, especially Zan and especially Clue or Wawa.
Especially Clue or Wara at this point. But I mean, look at this. We're having two combos come face to face, right? We have the Dune Dolia, the double D, and then we also have the Liang and Princess Frost. This has been a dominant control pairing since KME, KMW, and pairing that with the Orgren. I mean, you're going to set up the Winters here, you're going to set up the suppression, and then all of a sudden, Orgren's going to come through. So really, for those with the pens and paper at home, you're looking for some more damage, right?
Exactly. You're both looking for a key damage dealer from Vitality and Gen.G Esports. But I want to point out one pick here. Guan Yu being locked in for Vitality here, it makes one thing real. Dune here, yes, he goes in, takes the Liang ultimate, and Guan Yu, whoever gets ulted by the Liang, he will come in charging, breaking the formation of Gen.G Esports.
That could be the way, right? I mean, he does ride a horse, and what do we need? We need a Trojan horse in this case to try and get the disruption here for that suppression. But Gen.G are denying the Yu1. Potentially could have been Hu1 into the mid lane, because again, the double sustain from the Dolly and the Hu1 paired with the Dune is almost unkillable.
Exactly, and this is a rare occasion coming in from the pick and ban stage here. Arlie going through the entire second phase with no one picking it up or banning at all. It's a very rare phenomenon here.
A very rare phenomenon, right? I mean, is it going to be the best case for Arlie to come through here? Because if you go for, obviously, this control pair, and then you kind of take the Arlie but lose with it, it then means that, obviously, as you get into game number 4, it's going to be harder for you.
And that's the beauty of global ban pick, right? You have to think, is this an expensive team composition to draft? Am I really locking the Arlie here, or will I let that Arlie go towards the later stages of the game?
The answer is, Sagi, that they are going to lock in the Arlie here, so it's going to be all down to Zan to see how he actually is very formidable within these team fights. I mean, if we look at it right now, with what we have, we can't imagine we're going to be seeing any kind of engage happen before Guan Yu gets in, right? Obviously try and get the disruption onto the Liang to get rid of that suppression, and then Arlie can come through and have a little bit more of an easier time.
For me, we have to think right here, okay, all these picks has been expended from both teams here.
Yep.
For the side of Vitality here, one Arlie is not to say the most solid one to take down a beefy tank like Ogren. So Vitality, you want to round up the composition with a high burst major, be it the Kong Ming. But Ganemo is banned, so you have Kong Ming or Nuwa to be posturing around. And Gen.G Esports, what's a good way of fighting against the Arlie? And the Guan Yu, it has to be the Concert Yu. It's so good into this matchup.
It's so good into the matchup. I mean, the lockdown of the vaulting shot or ultimate is good, but I mean, with the ult bolt, we know that Arlie, obviously John on this Arlie pick can obviously mitigate any kind of projectile with the parasol as well. So it could be a good pick here into the bot side of the map, but I feel like here, Wawa getting another great engage-eccentric clash lane. Obviously getting that knock-up from Charlotte's ultimate could be the difference of night and day here for Gen.G.
I'm loving this Charlotte pick here. If this pick gets to scale towards the later stages of the game, that's going to be a big issue coming in from Vitality's roster as they lock in another utility pick coming in from Vitality here. So, Vitality, you only have one carry, and that is Zan onto this Arlie.
Zan, if he goes, that's it. I mean, you pretty much kind of like, all right, guys, we're going to have to wait and go and try and peel away. Wait for Zan to get back onto the gorge, and then we go again. So it's kind of like the Lady Soon kind of protect Madam President. It's the same kind of comp here because they have no damage, rather that Arlie being your main source.
Exactly, and that's a very risky team composition because you cannot be putting all your eggs into one basket. If that basket falls, you're gonna be in a big trouble here coming in from Vitality here. But of course, it comes down to execution here. If Vitality, Zan gets a masterclass game, he might be pushing it to a game 4.
Yeah, don't speak about execution though. Kin might get excited. We say execute, it's within execution. He's probably in the back room doing something in there. But anyway, this is the two-team drafts coming through right now. Gen.G up against Team Vitality. We see the draft here. A lot of control, a lot of engage potential. I mean, in terms of the damage, we can see from multiple aspects off to the side of Gen.G, whereas Vitality, like you pointed out, Sagi, there's only one there.
And what's a better way of finding out how real is the execution here, Blam? Let's check out Gen.G versus Vitality in their game tree of this best of 5.
Yep, getting onto the gorge already, we're seeing that maybe Team Vitality need to play a little bit more of a close unit rather than playing separate here, right?
Exactly, and look at the rotation here coming in from the side of the Princess Frost here. As we look at this so many times, the Princess Frost acts as a second roamer for the team. Not taking any much of the farm here, making sure that Rod gets all the resources and he becomes this beefy tank. While on the side of Inua and Clue here, they make sure that the gold funnels to the correct members of the side of Gen.G Esports.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking to give it over to either Rock or Ray, right? Obviously try and get the atomization up. But for those obviously looking at home, Harley here, you can see at the bot side of the map, Harley's combo is usually first basic attack 2, basic attack 1. And obviously you can lower the enemy's health while minimizing the damage taken as well, if you play it very well.
And that's the beauty of Arlie, right? You get to have so much mobility onto this marksman here. Playing on your parasol, spell 1 goes out, poke the enemy a bit, come back safely here. And the ultimate, the autumn dance here, pushing the enemy away from you and making sure that you have what it takes to fight off enemies here.
What it has to fight off enemies. I mean, Neil right now into the mid lane is just looking to use that Silk Imprint to kind of bring Rock into the turret, right? You want to be taking damage from the turret because, again, like we said in the draft, the damage really only comes from Zan, so we need to try and find other avenues of damage here for the side of Team Vitality.
And Gen.G Esports knows the fact that Zan is a solo carry here, and they put so much pressure onto this early into this early game here. And right now, we gotta think here, Neil is getting chased down by Rock here, almost going down to the execution coming in from the Augur Seer State.
Yeah, Seer State almost got the execution there onto Neil, which could have been fatal for them. I mean, the extra bit of bonus gold into the early part of the game could have been trouble here for Team Vitality, but not really wanting to take any brawls here, I feel like is the best call. But here we go, Rock uses the conductor souls pretty early on. The Unruly Blade in, gets the first kill. It's going to be Zan. Are they going to look to finish there? No, we get the flash from Inua though, so this could be scary here for Gen.G, knowing that Inua is susceptible to ganks. But not only that, we got 3 flashes being expanded.
3 flashes going down, and the next time Tufts comes in with that Guan Yu, you're not going to be having a fun time with your escape path here. So, Zan Q, Vitality comes up clutch thanks to Neil's Silk Imprint here.
Yeah, I mean, we speak about fun times though. I mean, the Floorboard outfit design contest is now live, and that's a way to have fun times. So, Team Vitality, Gen.G may not be having the funnest of times right now. They are battling 1-to-1, but right now you can get your mitts into this and get a chance at winning the cash prize and a limited avatar frame.
That does sound pretty fun as well, Blam. And let's get right back into the game and let's check out the current standing, the current situation that we're having here. We're talking about playmaking potential coming in from Tufts, coming in from Zan Q, having to tank the damage from the side of Vitality. But we forget about Neil here. Yeah, your clue. You're doing the power control onto the enemy, you're suppressing them. But you're standing still here. What if Neil comes in with a Silk Imprint here?
Exactly. I mean, it completely throws out the entire tempo you have with your team fight, right? I mean, you're playing to somebody else who's owning the control of you. So when you're not in the controller seat, it becomes very difficult for the side of Gen.G to try and maintain the fight for themselves. But we can kind of see here, Clue, Inua within that brush by themselves, trying to get a catch onto anybody. There is going to be the wind slash onto 2. Sure is potential coming through here. That is going to be a 2-0 trade for Team Vitality.
Beautiful rotations here coming in from Vitality here. They were punished heavily on the side of Gen.G Esports. They do not have flash onto both the mid and the roamer.
So they knew as soon as they committed, they had to stay within that team fight. But right now, we get a lot of pressure down to the bot side of the map, and Team Vitality playing to timers. 4 minutes up, they get the T1. And the takedown.
That 1v1 solo kill here coming in clutch. We were talking about this early here, Blam. He has to be the key difference maker. He has to be the DPS machine. And in this game, in that fight, he's coming in clutch.
He came in clutch, absolutely. I mean, he put the pressure on for these teams, so he's able to get that T1, but then also to take down Ray. And what do we say? When you're off the gorge, that's your GPM being sacrificed.
With that GPM being sacrificed, it goes to the pockets on the side of Zan Q. Right now, they are looking headstrong and invading this jungle.
Looking to invade the jungle, looking to get that Azure Golem. It does go over to the side of... Actually, Gen.G gets it. It's going to be Inua with the Winter is here. He claims it. Q gets out. Using the flash, it's going to be Zan as well over to the wall. He doesn't have his common skill. Obviously, the Rage has been used.
The Rage has been used here, and the Inua gets pulled by the Silk Imprint here. Both teams battling for the control of the mid lane here, but surprisingly, Vitality comes up clutch from that blue buff invade, making out 4 members alive.
Yeah, I think that's the best case scenario there for Gen.G, right? The fact that obviously they got invaded but was still able to keep hold of that Azure Golem was definitely where their eyes needed to be on the prize. But right now, 4 kills to 0. We're already getting close to that kind of kill count that we saw from game number 2, but right here, we're seeing that very sufficient in terms of gold lead is going to be Ray in terms of Zan.
That is a very dominating gold lead here coming in from the side of Zan here. 2,000 gold lead over to the likes of Ray onto this late on Constantine U here. And one key item that we have to look at for these 2 mid laners will have to be the Venomous Staff that's going to be completed just shortly for both these 2 mid laners.
Yeah, Venomous Staff, but also those paying attention that may have liked the Ali shout out in the early part of the game. The early power spike here is obviously that Doomsday. We can see already that Zan has the Doomsday and looks to funnel over the enemy's Crimson Golem over to that as well, so more damage coming through here.
That's a scary combo here. Arlie with the Doomsday, Arlie with the Crimson Golem here. She's such a strong side lane menace here. Whoever comes up to her, her spell kit can just kite out almost anyone coming in from the side of Gen.G Esports.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be careful. I mean, Ray's already fell victim to Zan on the early at this point in the game, right? So they have to make sure they're putting everything in the right place within these team fights. Positioning is going to be key.
Positioning has to be key here. We have to see, can Clue and Inua realistically find these big engagements here, because Zankyu is being so tanky here, but Inua gets caught.
He does get caught. I mean, it's going to be able to get out, though, unfortunately, for the side of Team Vitality. It would have been a great pickup for them, but fortunately for the side of Gen.G, they don't lose a member just yet.
They indeed don't lose a member, but as the game progresses, Vitality is starting to get more and more control of the map here. More of these side lane towers are starting to falter on the side of Vitality. No, on the side of Gen.G Esports here. So we gotta be thinking here. Gen.G Esports, what's the way of pushing the game back to your face?
I don't know, but I'm Run seems to think it's easy peasy lemon squeezy, so he's already got a big shout out from the IKL region. He's already saying, look guys, you're 4 kills ahead. Don't get too cocky.
IKL Samanga coming in from the side of I'm Ron here. So right now, another invade here, as we talked about.
Yep.
What are objectives? Objectives are the buffs. Objectives are in the form of the Tyrant, the Overlord here. So securing objective is another way of expanding your goal lead in Honor of Kings.
Expanding your goal lead, and also helping yourself to the enemy jungle as well, right? I mean, we've seen 2 times now in a row that Crimson Golem's going over to Zan. So they're not sacrificing any extra damage here for the side of Team Vitality. They're taking it all away from Gen.G. I mean, Gen.G right there, we saw that Rock built the Dragon Scale, right? So in terms of basic attack, that's going to be a little bit higher now on this Ogren.
That does provide some form of extra damage here, and another invade comes through coming in from Vitality onto this Azure Golem. Will a fight break out? I do not think so, because Gen.G do not have the resource to do so.
Exactly that, right? I mean, right now, they were able to get the Azure Golem this time around, so a very successful invade here for the side of Gen.G. For the side of Team Vitality, they were a much better position in there. Inua, I feel like, dropped that Winters here a little bit too early.
Indeed, and right now the wave has collapsed towards the mid side, and Inua gets pulled towards the arms of Vitality here. But fortunately, there was no members of Vitality to really punish that.
I mean, we speak about punish, but at the same time, they are getting punished in a way, right? They're damaging the enemy heroes, and then that's kind of making sure they have to stay away from this team fight. I mean, you're already looking at Inua playing it very sort of like risky here. He's very low, but still continues to roam around.
He has to be finding these opportunities, because the Clue and Inua combo, the Princess Frost and Liang, has yet to find any success into this game.
Speaking of success, we get a little bit here from Gen.G. They get the T1 into their favor right now, into the top side of the map, so trying to create a bit of pressure here is Gen.G. They're doing a good job of stalling the inevitable, right?
The inevitable is slowly approaching here. We have to see who pulls the trigger here. Will it be Gen.G Esports? Will it be Vitality here? You will get your answers shortly in 40 seconds as the Shadow variants are about to be spawned.
Yeah, another mid-game menace here for Team Vitality potentially being brewed up right now. 30 seconds onto the Gorge, we have the Shadow Tyrant and the Shadow Overlord coming through. The last game, we saw them take 2 for 1.
Exactly, and look at these 2 junglers here. They completed the Eye of the Phoenix here. What does it do? The lower your health is, your recovery increases here. That's why the Venomous Staff is so important to cutting down these healing heroes coming in from the side of both teams here.
Yeah, and we can already see the Venomous Staff for these 2 mid lanes come through, right? So anti-heal coming through is going to be potentially here what Gen.G can look at trying to go for, but right now, they lost their Azure Golem, and what's one of the worst things when you're Ogren? Not having that constant refresh on your mana.
No refresh, no cooldown reduction, that's gonna be pain here. And right now, Gen.G voluntarily starts off the Shadow Vanguard here, and look at Tubbs, he's looking for a flank!
He's looking for a flank. We are getting the Winters here, but it's not going to stop the side of Team Vitality. We get a takedown onto Clue and Wawa for now, and that is going to be another 3 pickups here. Rock getting taken down in the wrong part of the fight.
Brazel Cavalry from the backline. Tubbs comes up big with that flank of this series here. That was crucial. Check out this replay real quick. He was roaming behind. Gen.G starts off the objective here. All his spells were wasted in the front line here immediately. He punishes everyone coming in from the back end of the side of Gen.G Esports.
Yeah, I mean, we see that within, obviously, console use kit, that they have the Blessing of the Direct, and that was definitely a blessing in disguise, right? The fact that she didn't get hit with that CC meant that she kept alive, but right now, they're playing those 2 objectives at the same time perfectly, because they struck both of them, and not a single bit of Primal Bond came through.
Not a single bit of Primal Bond came through. They are hand strong. Left hand with the Shadow Vanguard. Right hand with the Shadow Tyrant here. Healthy 4,000 gold lead. They're looking to further push this game to a 2-1.
I mean, it's looking frightful, right, for the side of Gen.G, but I feel like there is still a potential here of a comeback. I mean, they still have a healthy amount of turrets, right? Like, they aren't down in Monopoly. They have some real estate onto the Gorge, but whether they can utilize this to get into Team Vitality's head is going to be questionable.
The first thing they have to answer if they want to make a comeback will be Zan onto this island. That's 4 key items being completed already. Let me visualize it for you. If you get hit by the Ali twice, you're dead.
Yeah, if you're a very squishy hero, you're going to be dead, right? I mean, there is quite a lot of squish here. I mean, you have the Princess Frost, you have the Consort Yu, you have the Liang. There's many targets here for the side of Team Vitality. They've got to be careful into these next few team fights.
And especially this Augur wouldn't be an issue. There is 0 physical defense item coming in. There's no Ominous Premonition.
No.
There is nothing here. So this Arlie, if she is untouched in the team fights, that's going to be a big issue for Gen.G Esports.
A big issue indeed, but speaking of big issues, losing turrets is definitely one of those issues you don't want to be facing right now as we go into the 12-minute mark. Losing the T2 into the mid, into the clash lane is looking scary.
It's looking scary as Ray, his flash was just popped as well coming in from Neil's Silk imprint here. The wave, it has been cleared from the bot side, but another Vanguard crashes towards the clash lane.
Crashes. I mean, the big rotation here from Gen.G has to be an answer to Team Vitality at this point, right? I mean, Winter's here has been taken off of the Gorge for now. It's on cooldown for Inua. So obviously the wave clear right now is not looking too hot.
Who gets pulled twice, but no follow-up coming in from the side of Vitality here. Thanks to that double objective here, they seem to create a 4,000 gold lead. But it's not the biggest of the gold leads that we've seen. Still manageable, but we have to see who is the key difference maker coming in from Gen.G.
Right now, I mean, who are we looking at, right? I mean, is it going to be Rock? Is it going to be Wawa? I mean, there needs to be a pickup between Inua or Clue for me here. They need to make sure they're making these 2 picks, these control pairings, a threat to the side of Team Vitality.
But that's the thing, right? The presence of having Clue and Inua is so big here, it mitigates any form of engage or sieging here coming in from the tier 3s here, because who is going to tank the ultimate under tower pressure here coming sides from Vitality here, because if Zankyu goes in and he explodes, the team fight just erupts.
The team fight will erupt, right? I mean, that's the problem that Gen.G don't want anybody facing as they go into the potential 14-minute mark here. And I mean, we look at the gold lead, it's around about 5k. 5k across the Gorge is pretty scary. But what's even scarier is the fact that Zan is 11.8k and Ray is only 8.2.
Ooh, that's gotta be tough. And Zan just picked up his Curious of Savagery here, so any physical damage that's gonna be accessing towards the backline, like the likes of Wawa, is gonna be not much of an issue coming in from this early.
Yeah, I mean, we're really banking on Wawa to get that pickup onto Zan, right? Like, he's the only one that's seeming to be the one to stop him. But I feel like it's really hard here for Gen.G because not only do they have to face Neil with the Silk imprint to pull them in to begin with, and they're already losing that control, that tempo into the team fight with that Sure.
Exactly, and right now, in the span of 3 seconds here, both objectives will be once again spawned onto the map. If you're Vitality, you want to be formulating your push around these 2 objectives and look for these big chances to end the game thanks to the Overlord.
Yeah, they take the Tyrant this time around, obviously. They're not going to go for the Overlord at the same time because they don't feel like they have that same amount of control because, I mean, Gen.G could strike pretty hard here.
That's very risky. Imagine a Liang just coming at you with the Howl roamer item and they make a big catch if you do split your resources treated to in terms of the objectives here. So Vitality playing it smart, playing it cool, gets the Tyrant, gets the extra damage to finish off this Overlord even under the influence of Primal Bond.
Yeah, I mean, Tuff's there. I mean, Tuff was just basically playing a little bit of a spy, right? He was just sat around the Golem, making sure that Gen.G wasn't going for it and letting the team know that their intel was on point. But right now, both the Overlord and the Shadow Tyrant once again coming through here for Vitality.
Oh, Clue gets pulled, Clue flashes out and has had to retreat here. Look at the top side here. It falters towards the minions here. And look at the mid side. Once again, another pull!
It slowly opens, but surely Inua gets taken down here as well as the T3 into the top side and mid of the map here also. It's only looking like time will tell if they're able to get this bot side here. The pull comes in onto Wawa. He gets taken down. John picking up another kill once more. The Unruly Blade, so crucial in this. The Conductor of Souls takes 1. Can it take 2? It does, takedown onto Rock at the same time. The wind slash comes through. Minions are going down. Crystal, more crucially, in game number 3. Team Vitality with the 2-1.
2-1 match point for Team Vitality here. Neil coming in so clutch with all these engages here. Pull after pull after pull. This man is being the sole engager here coming from the side of Vitality here, Blam.
Yeah, I mean, in the draft, we were kind of like alluding to the fact that they needed a bit of a burst mage, maybe. But the Shurt coming through, I mean, Shurt can do the damage, but that pull is the most crucial thing about it, right? Just the team, enemy team, seems to think that they are in charge. Shirt's on the board. You're not in charge. We're going to pull you to us. We're going to make sure your tempo is now matched with ours.
That's the thing, right? We gotta be looking at Clue and Inua here. Their influence in this game is not the best of the best here. The ultimates, the combo is nowhere to be seen. The pressure has not been really high here coming in from the Princess Frost and Liang combo.
Exactly that. I mean, we were really hoping for some really stellar sort of like pickoffs here with Inua and Clue with this kind of control pairing, but nothing really came of it. So I think it's down to, obviously, like we were saying in the draft there, Sagi, Tufts on this Guan Yu really came out. It's like a saving grace, really. I mean, he's not very graceful with the Razor Cavalry. It seems very frightful. I mean, he does fall towards the end here, obviously thanks to the Death's Precipice, the execution here for Rock, but that's the only time he fell.
That was indeed the only time, and that was overall a very clean game coming in from the side of Vitality here. From 0 all the way to the game-winning push, they almost dropped no members.
No members indeed. I mean, it was a very low kill game once again until towards the end, where we started to see Genji finally get a few kills on the board. But unfortunately for Genji, it seems to be like a pendulum. It's going to and fro and to, and currently it's in Team Vitality's court.
And they hope that that trend is going to keep going, because that means that the next game is got to be for them. But if it is not, that's going to be a 3-1 victory for Team Vitality, sending Genji back.
Yep, ding dong goes the clock, right? I mean, Team Vitality are definitely looking like they are in the stronger position within this best of 5.
Currently, they are at match point. They have the competitive edge in terms of the mental pressure. So that definitely stems on how the coaching staff of Gen.G really comfort the players, really give the words of wisdom, the words of affirmation that really need to power up for this game 4 to really bring it to a 2-2.
Well, we're going to have to check on what is going on in here, because Gen.G, they did go with the Ogren pick. That Ogren pick is going to be a painful one, because not only they had the Ogren, they had both the Princess Frost and the Liang, and that combo is very expensive.
It was very expensive here, but they were awfully quiet in this game here. Not a lot of plays, not a lot of moments here that was shown onto this deadly combo here, and especially look at Neil. 40% damage onto a utility mage? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the damage, like, output and potential here of the Share pick ever since KMW, right? I mean, there was a team that loved this pick. Mid lane always used to go for this when the Organ would come out, because, again, it's just a great way. If you see that path of passing come in, say, hey, buddy, come to me. I'm going to rope you in. We're going to dance. We're going to do a bit of a tango, and you are going to go down. And speaking of going down, Rock fell 3 times.
Rock fell 3 times, and it was very important 3 times, all affecting the tempo of his jungle here. And look at Inua here. 0 kill participation coming to this game. It was very different from his Maestro performance here. And does that mean if you shut down Inua, it doesn't allow Rock for much space to play the game?
Exactly that. I mean, at the same time, though, we're looking at the sort of timer that where Inua and Clue get online, right? It's that level 4 point where they both get their ultimates, and that's where the potential of this crucial control duo come through. But it just never did. It just never activated. And you can see there with the lack of deaths on Zan, it just never was impactful.
It was very difficult. Tufts on the other side, like with that Guan Yu pick, I think that it was a very good counter pick to what they already had shown, because we know that Team Vitality was gonna try to answer back to that Liang and that Princess Frost, and they answered back with Tufts Guan Yu.
Yeah, Tufts Guan Yu, he had his moments here. That fight towards the Vanguard pit, that was beautiful. He was lurking behind, and all the spells were expended onto Zhang-Q, and this we talked about. Once Zhang-Q gets locked down, and Tufts come in, no one's going to be stopping Tufts.
Second initiation coming in from Tufts. When Zhang-Q cannot do it, Tufts is going to have to do it. But this game, it was Neil on Dasher, the one that was amazing, taking the MVP. Neil win Dasher with a KDA of 3, 1, and 5.
Very crazy, right? I mean, you think of it, it's a utility mage at the end of the day. It's not a burst. It's not an assassin. but it has the same impact.
He has the same impact here. He was doing all the engages, all the damages. He was taking one of the least gold out of the entire team as well, but he was showing up clutch when it mattered to close out the game for Vitality, pulling it to 2-1 match point.
2-1 match point. I mean, it's looking very scary here for Gen.G, but like we said, the pendulum swinging, maybe it'll swing back into their court, or the clock breaks, and a broken clock is rung at least twice per day, right?
Well, let's wait and see what's going to happen. When one player needs to stand up, it does not mean about the hero that it is. It is going to be about their performance, about their attitude. How do they come in for this challenge? And they were challenged in a way that TranQ decided to go for the twin, right? And we had already talked about that.
Yes.
So they knew that someone else needed to be the core. And Neil came in clutch, and he decided just to wear a cape and be the superhero.
I love it coming in from these both teams, right? They are telling us a story here. HOK is never about one person. It's about 5 persons working strong together here. And this game, Vitality came in huge. Everybody played a crucial part, from the clash lane to the jungle, to the mid, to the farm, to the roamer. Everybody from the side of Vitality was just better.
It was better in terms of performance, and at the same time, they forced that Ogran on the other side.
Yep.
And sadly, that Ogran is not going to be available for Gen.G, and we have been talking about how such a strong pick that could be.
Yeah, it should have been a strong pick, right? But I mean, with that shirt coming through, again, like I say, back to my time back in KMW, it seemed to be the kind of counter pair that really sort of like upset the pace that you can actually attain with the Ogren. And unfortunately for the side of Gen.G, they lose that Ogren pick. But if we look over to the side of Team Vitality, it's not like they've expanded no expensive picks. They've used the Ali, they've used the Dune, they've used the Dolia.
They've used the Dolia, they've used the Twin, so that composition out there is up for grabs for Gen.G. Would they be able to take that and give us a good result?
For me, both these teams are having a current situation.
Yeah.
For the side of Gen.G, if you pick up the Arlie, who is it going to? Is it going to Rock? Or is it going to Ray, who's not having such a great performance this series so far?
Yeah.
So what is the key takeaway in this? So are we prioritizing the Pei or the Arlie? You can only pick one as of this point.
You can only pick one. You can only pick one, but I feel like we haven't seen Clue on the Diadea yet, right? I mean, Diadea is one of those picks that it's been not even banned. It's not been banned, but it's not been selected. So maybe this is the trump card they need getting from game number 4 to get that 2-2 score.
Getting that 2-2 score will be very critical here, especially. This is not just any other best of 5. Losing this best of 5 eliminates their hope towards the playoffs, and they will have to stop their journey here in the KWC 2025 here, Blam.
Yeah, and they'll have to take their eyes off the prize, right? I mean, it'll have to be going back to next year and then hopefully coming back and trying to fight for the vengeance of Team Vitality if they do take this game 4. But Gen.G, I feel like they got something up their sleeves, right? They aren't going to get knocked out with just having one win on the board, especially after their kind of momentum swing they've had already within the group stage.
I do agree so as well, especially if you're on the side of Gen.G. You still have a lot of picks like the Rock on Pei, like Rock on Luna. There's still many of these picks up for grabs here, but you have to be protecting yourself from the likes of the Maestro Nui, from the likes of the Ogran here. So many of these picks are still available up for grabs.
All right, so we're going to move into our game number 4 of this matchup. It is going to be Team Vitality sealing the deal 3-1 or forcing us to the 5th and last game. Is it going to be Gen.G Esports, the ones that they're going to be able to clutch that? What do you boys think? Let's go into the BP.
Let's go into the BP. Obviously, Ogren being banned here for Gen.G for the 2nd time within the series means that Team Vitality might be getting pushed towards that Jing, right? I mean, they can now lock in the Jing and not have to fear the fact that Liang or Princess Frost is going to come through for the side of Gen.G.
But Gen.G still has Arlie and the Pei. Those 2 picks works exceptionally well against the Jing that Vitality is looking to play here. So what is the first pick here coming from the side of Vitality? It has to be the Yu Huan. Flexible, going to the mid. Flexible, going to the roam.
Yeah, keep your enemy team guessing at this point. I mean, this could be match point here for Team Vitality. And what we were saying yesterday about these teams, right? The BP is where the action starts and where it all starts to go down. And speaking about going down, it's going to be the Arlie going over to the side of Gen.G, but it comes to your concern here, Sagi. Is it going over to Ray or will it be Rock?
Ooh, that definitely is a question that Gen.G Esports will have to answer us, because if Rock doesn't play these tempo jungles here, so who is going to be handling tempo for this Arlie to really manifest in these games? Because Direnjie, that's a counter towards the Arlie.
counter towards the early, obviously thanks to the hybrid damage. I mean, it's a splash rather than just a single kind of output there for the D-Ranger. So again, can do a lot of damage, especially into the early to the mid game as well. Looks to build a little bit more defensively, so it can kind of look more of a solo unit rather than to be dependent on the support. But we get a little bit more damage come through here for the side of Gen.G. Nua onto Inua.
Nua, Inua. That kind of rhymes, actually.
It does. I think there is a kind of a plan here. Maybe a plan that's alliteration, name rhyming is going to get them through.
It might get them through, but let's look at the continuous bans coming in. Gen.G Esports, they saw the fade coming in from Zankyo, and man, that was deadly. And deadly deserves a ban towards the ban spot.
Yeah, I was very shocked that obviously Fade's not going to come through here just yet, but I mean, maybe, just maybe, if Gen.G get this 2-2, then they may have to start to allow picks like the Fade to come through, or unless it's going to start looking very heavy in terms of the favor of the bans to Jungkook, and then the rest of the team can then obviously shift the call. Like we've already seen already, Team Vitality can do that.
Both these teams, they are actually putting so much pressure on the jungler here. Look at Gen.G. That's 3 bans on the jungler here. Look at Vitality. Soon to be, okay, 2 bans. So that's 5 bans in total, adding in the heroes that you already expended from the past 3 games here. That's a total of 8 bans per team on the junglers.
Yeah, quick maths, and it does check out for me, Sagi. So I'm not gonna impress you just to make sure that it is correct. But we did speak of the Diadea obviously recently. Diadea being banned out here for Clue, because again, what's lacking here is a little bit of sustain, right? Like they could have really used a little bit of healing come through, because right now the healing's only going to really be on the Main.
Oh, that's exceptionally true. Especially, they say, you know what? Let's forget about the healing here. All the healings has been removed from the table here. Secure, not the most consistent of engages, so let's lock in the Zhang Fei here. Let's go in together with Wawa and Clue.
Do you reckon the Secure might come through here for Team Vitality though? Because I mean, we do obviously have the forefront that is going to be the Hue one, right? If it goes into the mid lane onto Neil, we've already seen him play a utility mage. Could we see the D-Ranger and Secure combo come through here?
That might be the case here, because if you want to amp up the tempo here, that does seem to be a pretty good combo here. And I'm currently looking at, is it an assassin jungle that we're seeing coming in from Vitality here?
And there it is. The Jing comes through, as well as the Yixing as well. So we've been seeing a little bit of a conflict between the Yixing and the Zhang Fei within the KWC, right? Like, obviously, the Unbridled Outburst is crazy. Really upsets the tempo of the enemy team. But if you start already on your own terms within a board and you catch out 3 of the enemy team and you drop that mirror domain, it's going to be scary.
It's going to be scary, especially these type of games when you, on the side of Gen.G Esports, hold such an important engage spell and you whiff it. That's going to be a big confidence breaker. And talk about confidence breaker, Neza, the crown pick of Gen.G Esports in defeating all these teams in the upper bracket, it came clutch with it.
With it indeed. I mean, this is going to be quite scary, right? I mean, we're not getting the Dolia paired with the Nutsa, but it's still going to be a rock on that Nutsa, right? I mean, he played that very well. Because, I mean, I remember we saying fondly, is that a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a rock coming in with the Skyfall. So maybe, just maybe, we're going to get Ray onto the Ali, which to you seems a little bit of a coincidence, right? A little bit of a concern for the side of Gen.G.
It definitely is a concern, because we've known for a fact that Ray has traditionally not performed so well on these super high mechanics picks. So this is the downside of global ban picks, when your player does not have mastery over a lot of heroes, and especially Ray has suffered a role swap change here, as opening up the path for Rock here. So we gotta see, can Gen.G Esports Ray pull this pick off?
Can he pull the pick off? I mean, a little bit of a Samsung and dance here. We always see this now with Gen.G's Clue. When he picks up the Zhang Fei, he's looking for that stun. So really trying to put a bit of a stop here onto Jungkook, into the engages, right? Trying to get that lockdown with that comment skill rather than going for the second smite.
Exactly here. So ladies and gentlemen here, will this be Vitality closing off the series, gaining their spot to the playoffs here? Or Gen.G breathe life back into the series, making it a 2-2?
I mean, it'd be a great way to start off the day, right, Sagi? A full best of 5 when it is the last chance as well, right? I mean, it's not just any best of 5. It's not like this is just the format, but it's basically the team who loses this game is either going to stay in, or Vitality is going to knock out Gen.G with that 3-1 victory, but right now, a lot of pressure already down to the bot side of the map. A bit of trading here between Ray and Zan, but Zan is naturally the counter here to Ali, right?
Exactly, this is what we're talking about, right? Because of how strong the Gen.G's early laning is, even if Ray comes in with the Frenzy, comes in with the early spell too, you can't be winning the Gen.G if Gen.G just stands there and auto you.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for that matchup down to the bot side of the map, but Gen.G have Inua on the newer here. Obviously, having the Emergence as well as the Skyfall could be very scary, right? I mean, you feel like your team Vitality, you feel like you're playing on your terms, and all of a sudden, Skyfall comes, Emergence comes, and then that's it. You kind of already nullified that lead.
So that's a lot of mobility here coming in from the side of Gen.G here. But let's check out this Heaven Pulse Alessio skin here. I think you can get that for free if you go claim the Honor Pass of this season, level it up to level 80, and you get it for free, and it's all yours.
It's a British man's favorite price, free. I mean, if you give me anything, I'll take it, you know? I mean, I'm not going to let you keep that or hoard that. I'm going to take it for myself, and I'm going to be like, thank you, guy. I mean, free? Yeah, I'll go for that.
Yeah, thank you, Daddy HOK, and we are happy with it. And Tufts might be caught out here, though, but he has the mobility, and he escapes safely.
Yeah, escaping safely, but not using the common skull, right? I think that's the Brucey bonus here for the side of the Tufts on Team Vitality. The fact that he didn't have to use the common skull, he's able to maintain that and maintain his life. But right here, the Emergence just used a bit of a bait there to kind of drive away 19 from that mid lane.
And Rock there also expending that Skyfall here, forced to cancel it because it's too deep into the enemy territory, especially here, Bam. If you fight in the enemy jungle, you suffer a 10% damage reduction and they are more tanky.
Exactly. I mean, it's scary. It's very scary on the side of Gen.G, and they have a solid front line. And then they've got Wawa to do the pickoff into the back line as well. I feel like it's definitely one of their stronger drafts.
It is one of their stronger draft years, and Tufts buffing out the ultimate, just getting himself a River Sprite here towards the top side here, making sure that they have a healthy lead here. And look at the lead here that's being formed so far. Already a 1,000 gold lead through the laning phase alone.
Yeah, I mean, over the gorge, a 1k gold lead at this point in the game is pretty good. But, I mean, if we can see either of these teams get a bit of a dive here, obviously Inyo is into the top side of the map thanks to the Emergence. Could be potential here that Rock gets taken down, but he is tanky in the early game. We know that Jing needs a few bits of itemization before she can deal a lot of damage.
That's the very tanky Rock here we're talking about. Rock solid onto this Nuza.
Solid as a rock, as they would say. I mean, it's rock by name, rock by nature. But we'll have to see if that's going to stand the test of time or stand Team Vitality's damage output.
It indeed has to be, because one thing's for sure, Gen.G Esports in this game, they have a pretty decent mid to late game stage here. So if they can survive the early game coming in from the Gen.G, coming in from Neil's boards, maybe we can see a much stronger Gen.G towards the late game.
I mean, they're doing well so far, right? They're able to kind of keep themselves alive. Nobody's died yet. They haven't lost the first blood as well either, which is pretty much a blessing here for Gen.G. But the thing that's going to be the fork in the road right now is these neutral objectives spawning in around about 12 seconds, because there's going to be pressure for these teams to take either of these camps.
That is definitely the case right here. So we see Zhang Q here. He needs to pick up this Azure Golem. Immediately swaps himself toward the mid lane. Rock gets caught by the board, but it's wrong. Rock solid, as you say, super tanky. It's not bothered by it. And right now, both teams looking at position over to the side of this Tyrant.
Yeah, right into the back bush there of the Tyrant pit. He found out immediately. He's like, I'm not going to be able to be sneaked there. He does sit into another brush, maybe potentially going to get that unbridled outburst onto 19, but Zhang Q tries to go in, but Ray claims the Tyrant.
Ooh, a smite war here breaking out from both teams here. It's not won by anyone, but instead, Ray, with his original jungle nature, picks it up and makes it safe and sound for Gen.G Esports.
Yeah, that art of the skill of last hit in is never left Gen.G Ray, it seems here, but it looks like the Team Vitality are like, okay, they got the Tyrant, but we're going to just make sure we get resources across the gorge here. Obviously, we saw up the top side, Sprite being taken there. There's not really much between the clash lanes at this point, right? I mean, it's only around about 200, 100 gold difference.
But looking at the jungle, though, that's a 1,000 gold lead over Zhang Q here, so... Yes, they lose a Tyrant, but they're securing such a comfortable farming pattern for Zhang Q. He's already 2 levels up against Rock as of this moment.
Yeah, level advantage is going to be looking pretty strong here, but at the same time, Wawa does go for the dive in. The CC immunity comes through, but the damage from the turret is going to be the first blood for Team Vitality.
Zhang comes in clutch, dodges out most of the damage here, even dodging out the crucial annihilation from Inua here, making a 1v2 look easy.
Making it look easy. I mean, it's hard to make it look easy when you are a farm lane that's being ganked, right? I mean, in my ranked games, it happens a lot. I get quite triggered, but at the same time, these are pro players. I am not. I will just continue perceiving and persevering through my ranked games. But right now, speaking of persevering, is going to be Team Vitality. They were able to not take a team fight when Genji had that Tyrant.
Exactly, and 1.5 thousand goal lead already here. Props to Zan for finding out the 1v2. And look at the farming tempo from ZanQ. Still untouched, still unbothered from both teams here. And right now, they're having such a comfortable environment, making their late game Assassin Jing to really prosper and grow.
Yeah, I think this is the scary thing about Team Vitality, right? They've not been checked by Genji, even though Genji got the Tyrant and didn't really upset the flow of things, but 19 is able to take those blows thanks to the unending sorrow and the healing from the Q1.
That's the beauty of the roam coming in from Yuhuan, right? You can allow yourself to face check the bushes, get the intel for the Wintel, making sure that you pass on the message and you come out alive with the unending sorrow.
Yeah, speaking of coming alive, I mean, both of these farm lanes are looking for specific items to come alive, right? We mentioned it in the last game. Ali likes the Doomsday, whereas Dira and Jet, we're looking for that Sparkforge Dagger, and even the Doomsday going to come through for the next item, right? Attack speed, and obviously attack damage coming through. Clue taking a bit of a blow here, but he does have the Unbridled Outburst.
But that's a lot of members committing towards the clash lane off the side of Gen.G Esports here. Just look at 4 members going for the engage.
He catches tough. The world is my board comes through, but is it going to be enough to zone away the side of Gen.G? The minions are crashing through with a second wave. I feel like this could be a trade for the T1 into the top side to T1 into the mid lane, and that for me is not a good trade when you're losing Wawa. Potentially losing Clue here as well. He doesn't have the beast mode, but he's able to get out. Is Ray and Inua going to be just as lucky?
They are indeed just as lucky as they make it out unscathed. But look at this trade coming in from the side of Vitality here. A silent tower, not as valuable, but losing out mid tower. And wow, that is really, really bad here. And Drake here might be getting caught out by Tough in a 1v2.
Speaking of really bad, I mean, a 3v1 with a little bit of help there from Rock. A little bit too late, a bit like British Transport there, Rock was. But we still get the kill there for Team Vitality. 4-0. And a 3k gold lead.
3k goal lead, and Vitality is slowly but surely getting the hands on this game-winning lead that they desperately need.
They desperately need it indeed, right? I mean, what, 4 kills up again. This is kind of looking like a already dominant Vitality we've been seeing it for the previous part of this series, right?
Exactly, and ZanQ here, he's having a field day here, single-handedly invading the buff, making sure that he has a 2,000 healthy gold lead against his jungle opponent.
Exactly. 2,000 is a kind of a starting point where we start to think, right, okay, it's getting a bit scary. Maybe Gen.G need to focus ZanQ, right? Tyrant being taken down here. Team fights already looking scary for the side of Gen.G. That's a lot more damage now for 80 seconds for the side of Team Vitality.
And look at the gold chart here. All 3 members of the side of ZanQ, Zan and Tubbs, they are dominating this gold chart, and Inua might be caught out.
Speaking of dominated, Inua gets taken down, so does Clue. Rock coming in with a Skyfall, but it isn't going to have the impact that he needs. We do see Ray Wawa into the backline, but the damage coming through onto Rock is just a little bit too much. Wawa claims 1, claims 2, and he falls before 3 comes through.
Crucial 70% teamfight DPS here coming in from Zan before he falls. Beautiful catch as well coming in from Wawa, but it's not just ZanQ. Tubbs, ZanQ, Zan, the core 3 members that gets all the gold from the side of Vitality. They are standing strong and proving themselves value of these gold. They are the soul carries of these teamfights.
Soul carries indeed, but let's look at that replay, right? I mean, Rock does come through, but it's a little bit too late there. He's already taken too much damage for my liking, but the red Wawa into the backline, just trying to salvage that team fight that went into the favor of Team Vitality.
That indeed was the case here, and you cannot be banking onto one member, which is Wawa, to do anything he could, because he actually tried his best. He got 2 members and almost eliminated ZanQ, but right now, the Shadow variants has been spawned onto the map. 4,000 gold lead, that is a lot coming in for this Tyrant take.
A lot of gold. I mean, they managed to basically wait before that Tyrant was taken off, right? They had the Tyrant buff for a few extra seconds, and that was the timing of Gen.G, I feel like. I mean, if they went go there, it could have been a tricky start for that team fight, but Either of these teams, they don't want to give up either the Crimson Golem. We've already seen that if they take a fast Shadow Tyrant, they focus and go to the top side to take that Crimson, but they're securing that before they go for this.
Exactly, and that is what it matters. Gen.G with the Crimson buff, with the Doomsday, he's able to attack the tower thanks to his 3rd or 4th token, making sure that he hits the tower out of the range, chipping the tower slowly but surely, but managing the siege well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the annoying thing, right? I mean, you hear the announcers say, hey, your turret's under attack, your turret's under attack, and you're thinking, well, they've got no minions, but it's just Gen.G, it's just Zan, just dash in every 3rd token. It's going to be scary. But speaking of scary, is Jing's damage at this point in the game, taking that at T2 with ease. The Unbridled Outburst does come through as well onto John. That is going to be damage taken off to the side of Team Vitality. 19, looking scary. A fight on 2 fronts. Gen.G into the back line. He's able to just stay alive, but not claim any kills.
That was almost a double heal here coming in from Zan here, but perfect engager coming in from Clue, punishing Zan for wasting his legal immunity, and that is a very good timer that they can stall, because right now, Gen.G, they got themselves more time to scale.
A lot more time, right? And they were able to secure the Azure Golem as well, right? So that was a little bit of a Brucey bonus for the side of Gen.G. But if you want a bit of a bonus, Hero Rise, CD key in the game to get yourself a free everything box.
Yep, and I hope you guys get a legendary box, because that gives you limited tokens, that gives you skins as well.
Who doesn't love a free skin, right? But I mean, speaking of free, we're looking at a lot of free damage here onto the side of Team Vitality. I mean, top 5 is all Team Vitality there.
But still, we gotta look at this plan. Thanks to that play coming in from Clue, Gen.G Esports has so much more space coming into this Vanguard fight. If they can snatch this, if they can win this fight, they can pull a game to a 50-50 even.
They can pull it 50-50 even, right? I mean, this definitely is kind of like the brewing up, right? There's definitely a calm before the storm, and there's no Tempest Dragon on the Gorge right now.
There is no Tempest Dragon. 12 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. All waves are met with each other equal onto the Gorge. So right now, if you're Vitality, you're thinking here, oh, if I lose this fight, my entire lead that I have been building for these past 13 minutes will be gone into vain.
It got in vain. I mean, that's definitely not the position you want to be in going into the last game of the series as well, right? Knowing you had such a solid lead and then you lost it like that.
Exactly here. Look at both of these teams. They're playing with so much caution. No one is willing to pull the trigger. No one is willing to take extra risk to be the hero of this game here. So right now, Gen.G looking at the blue buff here, but
no, Ray gets taken down. That's a lot of damage for the side of Gen.G. So they have to be careful. We have 2 minions at the T2 for now, and Zan just poking it away with those tokens.
At the most crucial moment of the game, where the game is at a stalemate, Gen.G comes up clutch, catching Ray out of position here. Wait, can Inua steal this?
No, he's waiting for the Annihilation to come through. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. I don't think the global teams are going to fall for that anytime soon, but definitely Team Vitality here, Shadow Overlord, potential T3 looking very close by the skin of its teeth, holding on.
That tier 3 is close to being gone as of this point. We can probably see Gen.G using his mirror shatter to go and get that turret here. So right now, the push is starting to commence. It's starting to build up right now because the Vanguards has been spawned onto the map.
Vanguard onto the map here, going to be putting pressure for the side of Gen.G. Gen.G already behind by around about a 5k gold lead as well, so they've got to be careful how they take these team fights, and at the same time, Gen.G is holding on to that Shadow Vanguard like it's his pearls.
It is indeed. And look at Gen.G. He's already full slotted and he already has all the items that he needs to cut through the backline here. And look at Ray. He's not the richest of the players here. He is really falling behind on this early pick.
Yeah, I mean, all the resources seem to be going over the rock here. I mean, in terms of being like a solid front line from out of nowhere, that's what you really want, right? I mean, it hasn't had quite the impact I've been really wanting for the side of Gen.G, but Clue, however, has had a lot of impact within these last few fights.
I definitely have to agree with you here. So right now, we have to see how the high ground commences. How does Vitality pull off this high ground push? Because Tufts, he is very fed as well. If he jumps onto your backline, you're close to gone.
Yeah, close to gone. I mean, you're really hoping onto Wawa to make that counter, but there it is. The Unbridled Outburst does catch onto 19. Nothing to be too concerned about here as well. Rock is already into the bot side of the team fight here. The Annihilation does come through, but catches None onto None, where it is. The Unbridled Outburst, Wawa a little bit too far in, tries to get some. We set the Tufts into the backline with a successful takedown onto Ray, Rock, and Clue.
Neil with the 4-man board, sealing the hopes of Gen.G in KWC 2025. We congratulate Vitality towards playoffs.
Team Vitality, the 3rd seed of the IKL, get to go into the playoffs.
What a game coming in from Vitality. Their growth, their story coming in as the 3rd seed of the IKL. Proven to prosper, proven to bloom, and right now they are marching as the top 8 contestant towards the playoffs.
Destined for great things is going to be Team Vitality here, where all else failed within the IKL, they persevered. We saw Kagendra fall first, then Dominator thanks to their brethren, and now they go forward holding on that responsibility, saying, hey, look, we took out one of our own, we have to make sure we make it into that playoffs, and Team Vitality with that 3-1 score makes it through.
They indeed make it through, and they make it through with a clean and decisive scoreline. 3-1, dropping that one game, but